she had the babies in my grandmother's neighbor's house because that's where she lived. So I go over there and I see them and they're so tiny. Like they're like little nuggets and there's 5 of them. 5. It has been brought to my attention that my glasses are giving off a huge glare. But you know what? There ain't nothing I could do about it. Damn. But you know what? There ain't nothing I could do about that because I can't see. Oh, 2020 vision having behind people. How does it feel to be God's favorite? What is up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jaeda, if you didn't already know that. And today, we're continuing a little series that I'm doing called 23 Days of Love, where I talk about something that I love every single day until August 22nd, which happens to be my 23rd birthday. Yesterday's topic was therapy, because I love therapy so much in many forms. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. I'll have it linked somewhere, probably up here. I think it's up here somewhere. I don't know. Today is day 2 and we are talking about a topic that is very near and dear to my little heart, and that topic is dogs. Dogs. If you don't already know, I have a dog. Chloe, would you like to make an appearance? Ugh, you're getting heavier by the day, Miss Ma'am. How are you today? Do you have any words for the public, ma'am? This is my only child. I'm just kidding. Actually, I wore this outfit today because I feel like I kind of look like her a little bit. Like, this jumpsuit is like the closest thing that I have in color to her. So I kind of feel like I'm cosplaying her when I wear it. Now she's breathing in my face. Chloe is... What are you? Chloe is a Shih Tzu Chihuahua Poodle. Shih Tzu Chihuahua Poodle mix. You gonna breathe right into the mic? Is that what we're doing? If we want to get technical, she's half Chihuahua because her father is a whole Chihuahua. And then she's a quarter Poodle and a quarter Shih Tzu because her mom was half Shih Tzu, half Poodle. Now, only I would think this through and do the math on this, but that's tea. So I've had Chloe for 6 years now. You're 6, right? It's gonna be 7 in January. Capricorn Queen. And I have had her since she was born. I didn't get my dog the way, people, just go to the shelter and get a dog, or go to, what was that place called? Puppy City. That's where my grandmother got her dog. I have quite a few stories about dogs. I have a lot of stories about dogs, actually. So the very first story that I have about a dog is one that I don't even remember. I was 2 years old. It was Halloween. Apparently, I was dressed like a dog for Halloween. I was a Dalmatian, apparently. I don't know if I have a picture. I don't think I do. If I can find one, then I'll insert it here. But if I don't, then I'm sorry. But I was dressed like a dog. My mom had taken me trick-or-treating. So we went around town or whatever, went trick-or-treating. And then we go back to her friend's house. And her friend has a dog. And apparently this dog can't see very well. So that dog... that dog saw me dressed like a Dalmatian and was like, "Oh, you're a dog." Oh, another dog. And then was like, "Oh, like, let's play together." And like, wanted to play with me, I guess, as dogs play with each other, which is not very gentle. That dog, like, I guess, like, started like roughhousing with me, a 2-year-old baby, and stuck its tooth, one of its front teeth, right through my lip. Right through. Shot right on through my lip. I had a hole in my lip. So I had to be rushed to the hospital on Halloween, and I got stitches in my lip. It was like a hole, like it was bleeding, like, gross, I know. But the first experience that I remember, well, I should say that, I knew some dogs growing up. Like, my aunt and uncle had 2 dogs that I remember. Yes, they had 2 dogs growing up, Abby and Taos, and like that, I loved that. They had Taos for like 18 years, I think. They were like my favorite dogs, That was like my family in New Mexico. Then in New York, when I was 10 years old, my grandmother got a dog. Her name is Nishay. She's still alive. That was like my first ever experience with a dog in such like close proximity to me, I guess. I would go visit my grandmother and there would be this puppy there. I love her so much. I was like 10 years old. We go to Puppy City. I didn't know like me and my mom and my grandmother were about to go get a dog. I didn't know what we were doing, but like I didn't know a dog was gonna be in a cardboard box sitting next to me on the way home. So that was exciting. It was so bizarre because like I'd never really like been around dogs that much, I guess since I was 2. So that was like a new thing for me. Like, oh, I like dogs. Like I love dogs. They're cool, you know? They're cool. And from then on, like the Shih Tzu was like my favorite dog because she was just so like nice and like proper, well behaved, you know? That's what the kind of dogs that they are. And they grow like really long hair, so it was like hard to maintain, very hard to maintain, but like it didn't matter. I loved her, and so did my grandma. For years, even though she was my grandmother's dog, I would like low-key call her my dog because I loved her that much that I would go around like telling people, oh yeah, my dog, oh yeah, my dog lives with my grandma. So fast forward like freshman year of high school, I was in like dance and whatever, you know, living my life, being my little teenage self. Because my grandmother doesn't drive, my mom would take my grandmother's dog to the groomers. So sometimes I would go with her. Like on Saturdays, we went to the groomers, and sometimes they would have dogs in the lobby that you can like that they sell or whatever, and they're always so like super cute, and you can like pet them and stuff. And one day there was this the cutest black dog on the planet. I don't know what came over me, but I started begging my mom for this dog. She's so adorable. So then I go to dance class, and I'm not thinking my mom is actually getting me this dog. Like, come on, fat chance, you know. But then I go to my grandmother's house from dance class, and I walk in, and on my grandmother's lap, I see this beautiful black dog, and I'm like, you did not. For me, I felt so blessed that day. I was like, did you really take me seriously? Like, I loved her so much. I named her Dakota. She was amazing. The only thing is that at the time, she barked very loud. Again, she was a Shih Tzu and a Poodle. She did not like being left alone at all. Like, at all. Like, as soon as we left her, she would bark at the top of her lungs, and we can hear her. Like, if I live on the top floor, you can hear her from the ground floor, like, low-key. She's like screaming at the top of her lungs. And that wasn't okay at the time for me or my mom, more so my mom. So we had to give her away. So we ended up giving her to my grandmother's neighbor. And at the time, my grandmother lived like right around the corner. So we gave her to my grandmother's neighbor who lived like right down the hall. So my grandmother had Nishay, and oh, and by the way, she named her Nishay because that's my middle name. Did I mention that? And Dakota lived down the hall with my grandmother's neighbor. So it was all good. Like, I can still go visit her. She can bark all she wants. Over time, she kind of became my grandmother's neighbor's dog. Like, she wasn't really my dog anymore, which was okay. Like, at the time, what can I do, you know? I probably wasn't ready to have a dog anyway. I knew how to take care of a dog, but I wasn't really ready to have my own dog, you know? So it was probably all for the best. Then, I can't remember the time frame. Maybe it was like a year or so later. There's another woman in my grandmother's building complex who has a dog, and that dog is a Chihuahua. He was a big Chihuahua too, if I remember. But he was cool. He was nice. He bit me once, but that's fine. And he would always come down and like play with the other dogs. Now, Nishay, we were very good about her. Spaded, and you know, we got it done quick. Like, you're not getting down today, sweetie. Dakota, though, we kind of procrastinated getting her spaded, and that kind of came back to get us. When Snoop was like hanging around Dakota more and more, I was the one who was like, hey, like me talking to my grandmother and my grandmother's neighbors, you know, with the dogs, I'm like, hey, maybe it's best if we like keep them apart, you know, for now, while we like sort out getting her spaded, because she will get pregnant. They were like, oh yeah, you know, we're gonna keep them apart, like it's no big deal, it's fine, we won't let that happen. So then it was around Christmas time, I think. I'm a junior-ish. Yeah, I'm a junior in high school. We're like taking out Christmas decorations, me, my grandmother, and my mother, and my grandmother's neighbor who came over to my grandmother's house with Dakota. Usually when people knock on the door, Dakota's like barking at the top of her lungs, like, who is that? You know? She was knocking on the door. She like didn't say anything. She kind of just like moped away, you know, went to go sit and like, you know, she wasn't really her hyper self like she always is. So I looked at her and I was like, y'all, I think she's pregnant. And they were like, what? I'm like, y'all don't see her right now? She's like moping around, like not into it at all, not into anything at all. And I'm like, either she's pregnant or really, really sick. Either way, we should act now. And they're like, I don't know if she's pregnant. And I'm like, you guys can see her stomach right now. Like sis is pregnant. So they're like, you might be right. So like some days later, like a few weeks. Yes, a few weeks, because on January 8th, 2014, I'm in history class and I get a text from my grandmother saying that 4 babies done came out of Dakota. And I'm like freaking out. I'm like, I need to go home immediately. So I get home. She had the babies in my grandmother's neighbor's house because that's where she lived. So I go over there and I see them and they're so tiny. Like they're like so tiny. They're like little nuggets and there's 5 of them. 5? And like, when did this 5th one come? And they're like, oh, I didn't even notice. I'm like, what the heck? So now we have Dakota and 5 children. They're all like breastfeeding on Dakota and it's like birth happened. And it like kind of smelled like birth happened. So for the next few weeks, it was like me and these puppies and I was very paranoid because I was like, we cannot touch these children, because ever since I heard that if you touch one of them and they have a different scent than the mother like kills them, I was like freaked out. I was like, okay, nobody touch these kids. Keep your hands to yourself. So over the next few weeks, we're raising these kids, kind of. Well, okay, we're not raising them. She is. Dakota is like nursing them and stuff. It's really like beautiful to see. Like they grew super fast, you know? She had 2 black dogs, 2 white dogs, and 1 spotted dog. Now, I didn't plan on keeping any of the dogs because I didn't think my mom was gonna go through that again. Like, we had already had Dakota and we tried, and it was like, it didn't really work out. But I saw this spotted dog, black dog with like brown spots, and I was like, I need this dog for myself. Begging my mom, like, can I have this dog? At first, she was like, I don't know. I don't really want to do this again. But then once 2 months passed and Dakota was like starting to wean off the dogs, then we can start to like hold them and pick them up. So I picked up the spotted dog and he did not like me at all. He did not like me at all. So I was like, yikes. So then I was like, that's fine. I don't need a dog. Some more time passes and I'm bonding with these dogs. And Chloe here was always the biggest one out of all of them, but she was such a cry baby. Like, she would cry about literally everything. She was like one of the last ones to wean off of Dakota. She did not want to leave her. She loves her mama. So one day she cried literally all day long, would not quit, would not stop for anything. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? Is there something really wrong? I don't know. She was just like walking around crying. I don't know. So I pick her up and like I'm just like laying on the floor and I like pick her up and I hold her like over my chest and like she stops and I'm like, okay, good. Like, geez, man. You know, I'm like petting her and like we're there for like a good few hours. I'm pretty sure I fell asleep and like she fell asleep on my chest. When I woke up, she was like on my chest just like laying there. I'm like, I don't want to move. And so I put her down and then she started crying again and I'm like, oh, fine. So then I put her back on my chest and like I'm like, I like this one. So I decided that I really wanted her as my dog. So I like begged my mom. I was like, okay, mom, listen, hear me out. She kind of like agrees, you know, we're in like puppy fever. There's puppies all around. She's like, okay, fine, you can have this dog. And I'm like, yay! So then I take her home. And the other dogs go to like family members. Some went to friends. My aunt and uncle, who had Taos and Abby, now have one of the dogs from the litter. Full circle. So I take Chloe home. Honestly, the rest is history. I mean, she's my girl. Come here, Chloe. She is so lazy right now. She's looking at me like, do I have to? That's been my non-human best friend for 6 years now, and wow, I would not trade her for the universe. This girl knows everything about me. Having a dog is like one of the best things that's ever happened to me. Thanks, Mom, for letting me have Chloe in my life. Having your own dog is an extremely special thing, so that's why I wanted to include her in this list. Of course. Why? What? Who am I if I don't talk about my dog? Yeah, so that's day 2. Oh man, I don't know why I put on lip gloss at the end of the video. Oh, do you have anything to say to the people? Anything? Anything to say to the general public? She's saying, can you take me to get a haircut, please? But yeah, that's it for this video. If you like it, then give it a thumbs up and subscribe for the rest of the series. We're doing this every single day until August 22nd. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you have a wonderful day.